90% of what grows the church is not preaching and prophecy. They are the kitchen work. Those of you who do restaurant business, there's a kitchen work behind the kitchen, the cutting of the onions, washing of the meat, slicing of so many things, and cooking intensively for a meal to be delicious. There is something done behind the scene. Too many unprepared fellow trying to manifest prematurely. Jesus waited for 30 years to manifest 3 years. 30 years preparation. Don't mistake appearance for manifestation. He appeared at the age of 12, but it was not time. You're following the Father, somebody is telling you this, that, and that. Do you define yourself by cliques that are not going anywhere? Some spiritual sons will leave the Father, and all they do, they spend time preaching about the Father they left. And you are called to start a church, and God called you to start your own ministry. All you spend all your life doing is to teach against your father. Agreed. Your father does not know how to do ministry. You know how to do it. Thank God for you. Now that you have started your own ministry, can you use that your wisdom now to grow your church? Since you started 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, no member have come. The only member you are preaching against is your father. You will soon run mental. Use that energy you are using to preach against your father to grow your church, so that you can now grow the church the way you want to teach your father how to grow a church. You have not gathered member, you are lecturing your father. It's a suicidal mission. How do you spend time lecturing a man that have gone ahead of you? Fine, you know ministry, we agree. But can you gather member first? After you now gather member, grow church, then run the church to teach your father how to run church. You have not gathered. You have not grown anything. You are talking about eschatology, parousia, homiletics. You are talking about systematic theology. You don't know anything. You don't understand. Ministry is not English language. You will soon chop your English language.
I personally think that the church should be about preaching the right things. The church should be about sound doctrines. The church should be all about telling the truth, not making the Bible more spicy, not making the Bible into a delicious cuisine, not manipulating things in the Bible so that it suits a certain narrative. And this is why I think that the church in Africa has been failing, even though some of you people might think that it has gathered a lot of crowd, but those crowds really don't count, because those people are not there out of selflessness. They are there out of greed and self-interest. So, to see a man of God or a preacher comes out to say that, well, you cannot talk about someone, or you cannot criticize someone who might have said something wrong because somehow you are not of their standard. It's so stupid. It's so foolish. It's so ignorant. It's so naive. Because someone has hundreds of thousands of followers and you have 1,000 of followers, doesn't necessarily mean that that person is more important than you. No, it doesn't mean that. Now, that person might be fortunate enough to be able to pull such crowd, but it doesn't mean that that person is right on every single thing. It doesn't mean that. We all must be able to carry ourselves in such a way that we are impactful on the lives of other people. It doesn't matter whether or not we are popular. It doesn't matter whether or not we are the most influential people in our communities. It doesn't matter whether or not we had a mega church, it doesn't matter whether or not we are politicians. We all must contribute to society. We all must be there to check each other out. If someone is saying something that you think is wrong, say something. Say something. If someone is doing something that you think is wrong, say something. It doesn't matter whether you are rich or poor. It doesn't matter whether you are popular or not. Say something. Make your own voice count. Preachers nowadays are just struggling to build a cult of personality. They are doing whatever it takes to silence critics. They are out there advocating for people not to talk against or about their men of God, their daddies, their mommies, their spiritual daddies, or even themselves. That is exactly what they are doing. And that is why you see a preacher comes on the pulpit, rather than preaching the Bible, or rather than pointing out something that they think should be done correctly. They are busy telling you that if you know what to do, and if you could do it correctly, then do it. Don't talk about a person who is far more successful than yourself. Now, someone being successful doesn't mean they are right all the time. Okay? They might have figured out a way to build their successes, but that doesn't mean they have figured out a way about everything in life. There might be things in life that they are lacking on. And it's true. They might be. So, I think that it is our collective responsibility to hold people to account, to hold people in power to account, to hold people in privileged position to account. Do not let anyone tell you that your voice doesn't count. Do not let anyone tell you that your opinion doesn't count. Don't allow them to do that to you. Make sure you put your own opinions out there and hold strongly to the opinions. They are worried because we are calling them out. They are worried because we don't let them get away with the horrible things they say. They are worried because whenever they say stuff that doesn't make any sense at all, we will call them out. If they were not worried, they will not spend time talking about us, criticizing them. If they were not worried, they will not spend time just lashing back at us because somehow we criticize them. They will not do that just for the fact that they spend hours upon hours talking about us. Just go to cement the fact that they are seriously concerned. Which means that whatever we are doing is working. So we just need to keep the pressure on. Keep it going. Things will change. Things will change. I always say this, right? Change doesn't come in a vacuum. It doesn't just come from nowhere. We have to be proactive if we want change to come. We must do what is necessary in order for us to get the change that we need. It is your responsibility. It is my responsibility. And together, we will change things for the better. Now, let me hear your own opinion in the comment section below. What do you think about what the preacher said? Is it true that the church is not just about preaching? that there are many other things that go on behind the scenes in order to make the church successful? Should the church not be solely focused on soul saving and salvation? Should there be other things the church should be focusing on? What is your whole take about all this? Let me hear them in the comment section below. Because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. Thanks for the love and support. And like always, see you in the next one.